Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to my studio and the third painting in my story series. There is a fly in here and we are going to have it out. This story is a very special one. This story is a poem written by my new friend Ivan, inspired by his recent trip to Mexico City, specifically Casa Azul, which, from my artist folks, y'all know, was the residence of famous artist and personal inspiration, Frida Kahlo. So I thought today I'd share a little bit of poetry with you, and then we would visually interpret it on canvas. What that's going to be, let's find out. First, a recitation. Now, this poem is written in both Spanish and English. I'm going to do the English translation just because my Spanish is a little rusty. I gotta get back on that Duolingo. Anyway, this is Poet's Blues in Casa Azul. It's not the Mexican altitude that runs my collapse into a courtyard chair, or a wicked shortness of breath that chokes back tears. There is duende around me, and these others seem not to perceive. I am known to the dead as their lightning rod. But here, with her, I thought I felt a butterfly's wing, fanning gently the fingers I used to scribble words streaming down my face, of which I have few to be so wet. Dribbling with satisfaction, I daring look into her mirror between staircase rooms, up and down, night and day lines. But the streaks will dry. I will rise from my seat, whereas she could not, and she is Mexico to me. So we fly together from these walls. Pretty awesome. So Frida, known for her vibrant, beautiful colors, her sort of surrealist, dreamlike perspective, and particularly portraits. So I think today maybe we'll let's make a portrait. So as always, I'm using my same bare essentials, working with acrylics, red, yellow, white, blue, and black. A few different brushes, small, medium, and large-ish works, and a painter's knife, as always, my lovely favorite girl. Hey. Just some waters and paper towels for cleanup. As always, I'm going to be working on paper, but if you're choosing to follow along, paper, canvas, the side of a wall, I don't know. Let's go, let's have some fun. So firstly, the title of the poem is Poet's Blues in Casa Azul. So I feel like we should throw some blue around in there. So I'm going to get that big girl brush with this lovely kind of light blue. This is a cobalt, which feels very Kahlo appropriate. And I'm going to just do some nice big old X's, crisscrossing, filling up this canvas with just kind of a general wash of lovely blue, top to bottom, tip to tip, edge to edge, side to side. Now I'm not going to cover this canvas completely. I'm going to leave a little room for this background color to show through this lovely brown of my paper, or the white of your canvas, whatever you're working with. I'm just making a general wash, all these crisscross, overlapping X's. Again, if you got X's, you may as well put them to good creative use. That feels like the artist way. So I'm just going to fill up my canvas. There's quite a few references to tears and moisture and wetness kind of streaming downwards. So I'm not going to be shy about getting my brush kind of nice and wet and sloppy as I throw this color around, letting her drip down. This is an excellent early step for any artists out there that's got a little pent up frustration that you need to get out. This is a great alternative to, what are of those rooms where you go and you just smash a bunch of stuff. You give people money to break stuff. Anyway, let it out. Now, before this blue gets too much of a chance to dry, I'm going to take that brush and I'm going to start throwing in some other colors in there. We'll say white sort of towards the top, and maybe a little bit of yellow down the bottom. See what that does. As I'm throwing all this color around, I'm intentionally not letting it blend too much. I want to do, again, sort of stacks on stacks on stacks of color, layers of color. There are some moments where it's naturally blending in. This blue and yellow are coming together to make these sort of greens, but I want to keep, for the most of it, just very messily, very passionately, very emotionally, channeling that spirit of Frida Kahlo out to really make a mess of things. And I'll throw a little bit more of that blue around on top of it. Again, it's finding moments for it to overlap, for it to sit side by side. I don't want these colors to compete. I want them to complement each other. Love it. Let's give this big girl a bath. Yeah, all this color has a nice dizzying effect, sort of like the altitude sickness that you get. I don't know. I had a little bit of it when I went to Denver. A little bit on El Yunque as well. See the earlier video. But I like this. This is really cool. Now, the poem mentions duende, which, to my understanding, is like a Latin American nature spirit, sort of the equivalent of like a gnome, perhaps, or a fairy, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. If you know better than I do, please comment, let me know, educate me. But to represent those, I'm going to do little motes of light, I think, golden light, just kind of around in random places, maybe up here in corners. Spirits always floating around the periphery, like those little motes of light that you see when you shake your head too fast or you rise too quickly. Let's give her some of those. For these, I'm just starting as very small dots, spiraling outwards, maybe adding a few little curved lines, sort of twisting out, like little macaroni noodles, little circles of parentheses. Think about the brush patterns of Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. Lots of little circles. These nice curved lines coming out, as little or as few, just out here on the peripheries. I said parentheses. I need more coffee. Like little yellow roses. my favorite roses, by the way. After I lay down all of this yellow, I'm going to use that same baby brush, this little kind of pointer sister that I got, that I shaped out this yellow. And I'm going to get a little bit of white in it. Just going right into the very tips, right into the points of these duende, these celestial entities of the air and nature. And perhaps I'll maybe even throw a little bit of these white kind of curved streaks around them as well. Not as much, keeping it most in this gold, but just to accentuate here and there a few girls crying out for attention, sharing the love, giving out this warm little light to all the artists and sensitive souls that come to visit this place. Yes, yes, yes. Love her. Give this brush a bath. Now, Miss Kahlo famously had a few physical ailments, and the poem does specifically mention about how our reader is able to rise while she could not. And it talks about being lifted up. It talks about sitting into this chair from the heat of the day, collapsing into this. So I don't know, let's put a porch chair in there. We'll do a bit nice kind of woven porch chair. And I'm going to do that in a nice, lovely, warm, rich, earth tone brown. But Scott, I don't have brown. All we're working is red, yellow, blue, black, and white. How am I going to make it? Don't sweat. Brown, all these kind of natural, rich earth tones, actually pretty easy to make. It is our primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, all mixed together. My best recommendation for this, for my new artists who are trying to make brown, if you mix a little bit of red and yellow together first, right? You get a nice, bright, fiery orange color. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, God, look at her. And then, little bit at a time, adding some blue until you get exactly the right earth tone. Let me add a little bit of blue. Until you get the exact shade, tone, hue, texture you want. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to use this kind of medium-sized brush. I've got about a 1-inch brush. And I'm going to get a little bit of that brown on it. And I'm going to come down here to this bottom right. I'll just make a big old arched curve. Oh, it's going to go over past some of this duende, but that's all right. Just a nice arched curve for the back of the chair, right? Put a little bit of white in there too, just to really kind of give her a bit more. Oh, yes. Curve around down there, yes. Curve over there, yes. I'm just going to come around the inside of this arch to the back of my chair. I'm using that same brush, pulling some things down. Oh, look at that. She's picked up some of my lovely floating lights. Just giving some nice pops of gold naturally into that brown. Ooh, put some around the edge there too. Love that. Love that. She's great. This is already very dreamy. Girl, don't I know about dreaming? Stop it. Cut that part out. Okay, we're about to make some wild, reckless decisions now. I'm using that same brown that I used to shape out the back of this chair. I've added a little bit more white to it and a little bit more red to get a nice kind of peachy pinky cream color. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna get that peachy cream color on this 1-inch brush. And I'm gonna come back up here. Okay, Frida, how do you want me to do this? I'm gonna start with that edge of that medium brush. Come on up here just a little bit above the chair. I'll shape out a little bit of a curved line. Of a, looks like a backwards J. I'm gonna pull this paint over to my right. Just letting her kind of flick and disappear off. Come down below it and I'll just do another little line, little sweep. Yes. Yes, yes. Just a little line there, I don't know. Yes. Maybe I'll get a little bit more red into that color. Maybe just kind of tracing down the side here just a little bit. A little bit of this texture red. Oh, nice fiery red. Love it. Love it. I'll come right here in the middle. Just a little dash of line. Fading off there. She's ephemeral. That's a good word. Ephemeral. All right, let's give that medium brush a bath. Just put her in the pool, let her hang out with her big girl sister. I'm gonna switch back to this little skinny baby brush. I'll just throw a few little streaks of white, tracing down that edge. Yes. A little bit right down there. Oh. Ephemeral. 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 Not mask, but she's ephemeral. 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 Okay, that was too much coffee. I need to drink some water. Better. Okay. Same 1-inch brush. Giving her a bath. I've gotten her clean-ish. Gotten her cute-ish. Now I'm going to go right into the red. Just a little bit of red. This nice fire red. I'm going to come over here. Down here on this side. I'm just going to do it through curved lines. Very gently, barely touching the canvas. Just kind of following the shape, curve of where I think her shoulder would be if she were there completely. Just pulling that paint down very lightly, letting her go where she wants to go. A little bit, this is the fold of her sleeve, just gently. Somewhere right about there. She's not really there, but she is. But she isn't. Nice. A little bit more solid up there. Cute. All right, here we go. Let's make our Frida. painting at a little bit of an angle so y'all can see is an interesting exercise. I think Frida would approve. Okay, I may do some ADJs on her later on as we go, but I'm liking how she's fading in and out and not really there. Obsequious and ephemeral. That's kind of the word that keeps sticking in my head with this painting. Ephemeral. Love it. So I'm going to leave her for a minute and I'm going to go back to the poem. There's a lot of wordplay about wet and streaming and running down and that stuff. I'm feeling rain. I'm feeling rain. So I'm going to get that baby brush a bath. Going with a little bit of blue. Maybe a little bit of white. Get this nice and wet so it runs nice and smooth. And I don't know, gosh, which direction do I want to go? I'm just going to throw a few random streaks of water. Kind of crisscrossing all through everything we've done so far. Barely touching the canvas, just leaving little spots for it to pick up and let go and pick up and let go with this texture. This natural texture of my paper. Went at a bit of an angle just for a bit of drama. I don't know. Is it rain? Is it light? Is it emotion? Maybe a little bit of all three. So if it kind of crisscrosses past her face, yes. Yes. Maybe I'll add a little bit of white in there too. All different angles. Not going for the exact same, but they're going in the same direction. Here we go. Yes. And you know what? Screw it. Let's do a little bit of yellow in there too. I want her sun coming right down to her head. That feels like something she would appreciate. You know, I was first introduced to Frida Kahlo in like 5th or 6th grade. I don't know. Art class, we were doing something. I think it was one of those situations where the teacher was out, so we had a substitute in, and substitute's favorite thing to do was put on a movie and play her scratch-offs or something. I don't know. I hope she won. She was an awesome lady. But I remember watching Frida, the movie Frida, with, oh my God, was that Penelope Cruz? Yes, Penelope Cruz. I would like to issue an apology on behalf of House Lilly to Mexican-American actress Selma Hayek, who was nominated for an Academy Award for her portrayal in the 2002 movie of Frida. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm blame the coffee. Love you. Alfred Molina and who was it? Julie Taymor direct that movie? That is why is it a weird, crazy movie. Oh my God. Okay, yes. 5th, 6th grade. I don't even know why we were watching that movie. There's a lot of adult stuff in that movie, but the visual storytelling of that struck a chord with me. And though I am not a fan of the archetype of the tortured, tormented artist, her life and her contribution to Latin art and its platform on the world stage is crazy. Read a book, learn something about this woman. Wikipedia, oh my gosh. Yes. And you know what? I think it's time for my favorite part of any painting, which is to break out my lovely girl painter's knife. And I think, I don't know, I want to mix some of this yellow and blue together and make a really nice bold green. And I'm going to do my favorite technique, which is to just lightly pull this paint in whatever direction I'm feeling. I feel like I've got a lot coming down from the sky. I want to pull some stuff up from the earth. And with this green, this blue and yellow business kind of mixed together, same sort of thing with the background. I'm not blending this paint a lot. I'm maybe doing a few scrapes. And I'm letting the paint formulate its own story on the canvas. Now, a lot of my pieces, I paint my actual canvas pieces. I don't usually paint with frames in mind. A lot of my paintings are actually intended to be displayed without a frame. Borders are part of the expression of the piece. But for this one, I think, I don't know, this is poster size, this is poster equivalent. It fits perfectly. It's a, what, about 27 by 33? Perfect spot. It is not 27 by 33. Let me measure that. All right. Oh yeah, 18 by 24. Perfect poster size. So this could be framed for anybody who's looking to add something special to their home library. I think in lieu of whatever frame that will be, whatever frame her new home decides to put her in, I'm going to use this lovely blue, green, yellow, earthy colors to sort of pull in this frame all around her from the inside. And then whatever frame her family decides, her forever family decides she wants to be in, hopefully it will. It'll go well with this. I know. That's the creative decisions I have to leave up to y'all. Love it. And I think because they're... Is that a plant? This is our aloe vera plant named Ivy. She's gigantic, and I guess she's making a cameo in this video. Love you, girl. Where was I? Oh, I think because I liked them, I'm gonna go back in and refill in my duende. Yeah, I like them. Shape up, girls. All right, and that's where we're gonna leave her for today, because I gotta go cook dinner. But I'll see you in a couple seconds for part 2, the completion. Hasta luego. All right, so I've given Miss Frida some moments to dry, and now it's time to go in and do some fun stuff. I feel very floral today. Frida's always very flowery, so just to show you all a really interesting way I like of doing flowers. So I'm going to use this kind of 1-inch brush girl that we got, right? And I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. Nope. I'm going to use some red and white here. And with that medium-sized kind of 1-inch brush, I'm going to kind of split right down the middle. And I'm not mixing these colors together exactly. I'm putting kind of red on one side and white on the other. Just on one side of the brush. And I'm going to come to somewhere, I don't know where I want a flower to be. Say kind of falling off the top of this head. I'm going to take that brush and I'm just going to kind of create a sort of circle of waves. And wiggle, 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 wiggle. Oh, that's kind of fun. Oh, that's fun. What if I did a few on the opposite? What if I did white on the outside? Oh, look, I just like that even better. Overlap her a little bit. Just kind of moving my brush, kind of wavy, wiggly pattern. Get a little bit of moisture on her. Not getting her super, super wet, but just a little moisture on the brush to really help that color pop. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. Okay. Okay. Ooh, wow, love that. Now she's feeling like Frida. Let's throw a few more of those around in there. Now we have all these diagonal lines shooting down, kind of going from top left to bottom right. So I'm going to focus my placement of flowers more or less along this diagonal. Kind of give or take, move it around, but kind of keep the eye following down from this top right corner through her face, through her shoulder, and down here to the bottom, where I will inevitably sign my name. I said I'm going to focus most on this diagonal, but I'm going to put one up here too, just because I feel like she wants to be there. I really like that. Now I think I'm going to use that same technique, same brush, give her a little bit of a bath, get her clean and cute. I'm going to do that same step. I'm just going to switch out the white for yellow. Red and yellow make orange, and I think those two together give me very, I don't know, this texture reminds me a lot of the cempasúchil plants, the sort of marigold flowers that they use a lot in Latin American culture, specifically Mexico, for Dia de los Muertos and other things like that. So just to kind of give a little homage to the spirits who have passed on. I'll use that red, this time with a little bit of yellow. Yes. Maybe I'll use the yellow on the outside. Come to a few places. Yes. Let that blend how and when she wants to. Oh, love that. Let's throw some of those in there. What? No, how dare you? Oh, it's my Alexa giving me my daily notification to stop being fat, which is a less than kind way of saying stop and do some push-ups. I think we put that in during the pandemic early days. Anyway, be right back. Oh, okay, let's go. All right, it's time for the poet's blues. And I think she's done. One last little signature down in the bottom. Oh. And to my lady, thank you. And thank you to Ivan for the inspiration poem. If you have a story, poem, song, photo that you want to see a visual representation, interpretation of, then shoot me a message, let me know. We can interpret it together. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for the next one. Hasta luego, stay creative, stay fabulous, and see you soon. Mwah.